Hello, and now for the Greek. So we are in Acts 23, day 3, and Paul has already divided the house of the Sanhedrin, got the Pharisees and the Sadducees arguing with each other, and the Romans took them back to the barracks. That didn't work, and so we're going to plan B now of those who oppose Paul. We begin with verse 12. And day having come to be, this is, by now you should know this construction, very common. In Acts, it's a genitive absolute, noun in the genitive, a participle in the genitive. It's not, this is ginomai. Hopefully you know ginomai now, you can recognize it, but it's not G-I-N, it's G-E-N, which suggests it's aorist. So this is an aorist deponent participle, genitive feminine singular. So day having come to be, that's one modifier. Having made a plot, a soustrophe. So we have this modifies the verb and this modifies the verb. Sigma alpha, aorist. My aunt is a active participle, aorist active participle. S is nominative masculine plural from poieo. So day having come to be, having made a plot, the Jews, and just a few of the Jews, not all of the Jews, 40 Jews we see, or more than 40 Jews, they bound themselves. They anathematized themselves. This is interesting, the word anathema. We think of something anathema being, really, really bad. But what the sense here is they put themselves, in my sense is, it means they put themselves under an anathema. They took a solemn vow. I don't know if you've seen Harry Potter. I know that's kind of not, I don't know if is it kosher to mention Harry Potter, but in the second to last Harry Potter video, or third to last, can't remember which one. One of the characters takes an unbreakable vow, which means if he breaks the vow, he dies. Well, that's basically what's going on here. They are invoking the name of Yahweh in a vow and basically saying, if we do not fulfill this vow, may the Lord strike us dead. So they made an agreement. They bound themselves. This is sigma alpha, aorist. There's the augment, anathematizo. They anathematized themselves, the Jews. They put themselves under a bound, a solemn vow. This is a reflexive pronoun, saying, neither to eat nor to drink. These are both aorist infinitives. Even though it's ein, which is often used in the present infinitive, this is a second aorist form. Estheo is the word, and this is pino. Notice it's lost its nu, so it's an aorist. And this is the ephagon, the aorist of estheo. Esophagus eats the food. So they bound themselves neither to eat nor to drink until they should kill Paul. And this construction, house, takes a subjunctive. That long vowel before the ending is the sign that this is subjunctive. And it's apokteno, so I guess it's a present active subjunctive, until they might be killing Paul. Verse 13. And there were more, this is the comparative of Paulus, so it's more than 40. I assume that this is, we should think of this as being genitive, but it doesn't decline. It's indeclinable. It just means 40, and it always looks that way. There were more than 40. That is, the ones having made, hoi poiesomenoi, the ones having made this plot, this agreement, this conspiracy. Sigma alpha, aorist, middle, aorist middle, participle, men are passive or middle, participles, nominative masculine plural, hoi poiesomenoi, the ones having made this conspiracy. Okay, they were more than 40 of them. Verse 14, who, having come to the high priests, notice it's plural again, and to the elders, this is elf. Elf is what? Aorist of erchomai, so proserchomai. Who, hoitenes, hostis, this is a kind of a souped up relative pronoun, conditional relative pronoun maybe. Who having come to the high priest and the elders, they said, aping an aorist active indicative third plural, they said, with an anathema, we have anathematized ourselves. So again, the idea here is with an oath or with a vow, But again, there's more than a vow here. There's a sense of we will die if we don't keep this. Yes, with a solemn oath. With a solemn oath, we have bound ourselves to taste nothing until we should kill Paul. Okay, so again, this is sigma alpha, aorist. This is a dative of means with an oath, by means of an oath. Reflexive pronoun, to taste, sigma alpha, aorist. 6 out of 7 infinitive forms end in I. It's an infinitive aorist. Middle infinitive, I would say, to taste nothing. And taste, I think, takes its object in the genitive, which is why that is genitive. I'm just double checking some things here. Yes, so that would be a middle. A lot of the middles in Acts translate just fine as actives. Okay, until we should kill Paul. This again is subjunctive. It's present active subjunctive construction. Until, it's a temporal, conditional temporal, what would you call that? It's a temporal clause with a subjunctive. Verse 15, therefore now, y'all, ask the chiliarch, the commander. This is a sigma alpha, so it's aorist, but it has no augment. It's an aorist imperative. Y'all inquire, y'all ask, y'all inform. Aorist active imperative. Inform the commander with the Sanhedrin. So they went to a subset. This is a plot, right? They didn't go to the whole Sanhedrin. They went to just a few people that they thought would be on their side. People, high priests and key elders, assemble the Sanhedrin in order that the commander might lead him down, that is, Paul, down to you. Again, this is a purpose clause, hapos, with a subjunctive. So this is subjunctive, fried vowel, third person singular. Agagagagag, it's aorist, so it's an aorist active subjunctive, katago, in order that he might lead him, Paul, down to you, as if you about to determine more accurately the things concerning him. Yes, so this is a present active infinitive. This is a present active participle. This is the comparative degree. You can see the ER in there, more accurately. So acrobos would be accurate. Acrobesteron would be more accurate. Right. The things concerning him. This is the substantive use of a prepositional phrase. This is a prepositional phrase, and there's an article on it. And the things, substantive. Okay, but we, before him to draw near, we are prepared to kill him. Okay, so this is a temporal infinitive construction. There's an infinitive of time, and this implies prior time, before him to get near. The sigma alpha tells me this is an aorist infinitive, aorist active infinitive from engidzo. So it's an infinitive of time, prior time. Subject of infinitive is in the accusative case. We are prepared to kill him. This is a purpose construction. Genitive article plus an infinitive. This is anairo, I believe, anaireo, which means to kill. So it's a infinitive of purpose. There's the it's irregular, so it's aorist, and then active infinitive. Okay, so let's keep going. But the son of the sister of Paul, talk about that very briefly on the video. The son of the sister of Paul, having heard the plot. This is the aorist, because sigma alpha, aorist participle, aorist active participle, nominative masculine singular. Having heard the plot, the son of the sister of Paul, his nephew, having arrived and having entered into the barracks, he announced to Paul. He told this. He informed Paul of this plot. So we have some infinitive or participles here. Gen, this is from paragenomai, but the gen tells me it's aorist. So this is an aorist deponent, paragenomai, aorist deponent participle, and this is an aorist active participle of elf, ace erchomai. This is anangelo. We've lost a lambda and had internal lengthening with an augment. This is aorist of apangelo, I'm sorry. He announced to Paul the plot. Verse 17. And Paul, having called for one of the centurions, the leader of 100, Sigma alpha tells me it's aorist. This is proskaleo, to call for, something like that. So I would take it as a middle ending, men are passive or middle. So it's aorist, middle participle, nominative masculine singular from proskaleo. Paul, having called for one of the centurions, he said, aorist of Ephemi, or Ephemi, sorry, lead away this young man to the Kiliarch. So this is an imperative, apago. It's second person singular, present active imperative. This is accusative, so this is who's being led. Lead this young man to the Kiliarch, for he has, present active indicative, he has something, indefinite pronoun, to announce to him. Again, this is the aorist because it's lost a lambda, internal lengthening. 6 out of 7 infinitive forms, and an I, it is a aorist active infinitive, to announce something to him. Verse 18, therefore, on the one hand, the one having received him led to the Kiliarch and said, and says. So this is a participle. It's lobbing you an aorist, so it's paralambano, the one who had received him, that is the nephew, led, agagagagag, this is the aorist of ago, led to the Kiliarch and says, historic present, quote, the prisoner Paul, having called me, asked this young man to come to you, to lead to you, or asked me to lead this young man to you. So this is sigma alpha, aorist, aorist middle participle, nominative masculine singular. This is erotao, sen is a aorist active indicative third person singular, ending. They asked this young man to lead, agagagagag, it's aorist infinitive, aorist active infinitive, because he has something, having something to say to you. Having, my aunt is an active participle, present active participle, something, indefinite pronoun, to say, sigma alpha, this is an aorist active infinitive, to you, verse 19, and having taken the hand of him, the Kiliarch, and the Kiliarch, having taken the hand of him, lobbing you an aorist, epilambano, aorist middle participle, again, a lot of middle participles. Luke loves them, and they don't really translate as anything other than active, really. There might be a nuance there. If I were writing a commentary, I'd go into it. So having taken the hand of him, the Kiliarch, and having taken him aside, having withdrawn him, sigma alpha is aorist participle, from anakoreo, and privately, katidion, that's a idiom for privately, he was inquiring. This is, I think, the imperfect of punthano. So imperfect middle indicative. A lot of middles. And here's what he was inquiring, quote, what is that you have to announce to me? Question mark. Interrogative pronoun, relative pronoun, present active indicative, another aorist active infinitive. Okay, wow, I know I talked fast, quickly, probably too quickly. You may want to rewind and go through it little bit by little bit until you've got it all. So the plot thickens. More, Lord willing, mañana.